The parliamentary elections set to take place on August 5th. President instructs State Development and Construction Corporation to focus on the construction of housing facilities for middle and low-income earners. Country's second technology faculty was vested with the studentship. All suspects related to Moratuwa shooting incident have been arrested. Island-wide dengue eradication program commenced. 2 voice tapes of the Shangri-La Hotel bombers released to media. Protests were held before Geneva Human Rights Commission in support of the protesters in USA. Moving on to stories in more detail. The Commission of Election has decided to conduct the 2020 parliamentary election on August 5th. The relevant Gazette notification with the signatures of the Commission members has been issued thus far. Chairman of the Election Commission Mahinda Deshapriya declared that the Commission members, Chairman of the Commission Mahinda Deshapriya, Member of the Commission President's Council Nalin Abesekara and Member of the Commission Professor Ratnajiva Hool have unanimously decided to hold the parliamentary election on August 5th, 2020 from the previously scheduled date of June 20th, 2020, and the Gazette notification has been sent to the government printer accordingly. The Gazette notification declaring the dissolution of the Parliament was issued on March 2nd. The Gazette notification had directed that under the powers vested with the President, the general election was scheduled to be held on April 25th, 2020. Accordingly, when the Gazette notification to dissolve the Parliament was issued, no other COVID-19 patient was recorded in the country, except for the Chinese national. However, with the situation that occurred in the country after reporting the first COVID-19 patient on March 11th, under the powers vested with the Election Commission, the general election was postponed to June 20th. In the meantime, several parties filed fundamental rights petitions with the Supreme Court to revoke the Gazette notification issued by the President to dissolve the Parliament and the date to hold the elections on June 20th. The 5-member judge bench of the Supreme Court, led by the Chief Justice, decided on June 2nd to reject the petitions without taking up for further hearing. During the consideration of the petitions, the Election Commission informed the court that the general election cannot be held on June 20th due to the prevailing situation in the country. The Commission stated the possibility to hold the general election within a period of 60 to 70 days after receiving relevant health guidelines. Accordingly, the Commission of Election decided to hold the parliamentary election on August 5th, 2020, following several meetings conducted in the past couple of days at the Election Commission premises. A total of 7,452 candidates set to contest for the upcoming parliamentary elections. A total of 3,652 candidates have been placed by political parties for the upcoming election, while 3,800 candidates representing independent groups will contest in the election. The Gazette notification consists of the preferential numbers of the candidates contesting for the upcoming general election was issued yesterday.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa instructs State Development and Construction Corporation to focus on constructing housing facilities for middle and low-income earners. The President directed these instructions during the progress review meeting of the State Institute. The President emphasized the need for state institutes to deviate from routine practices and transform them into profit-making entities. The President requested the officials to present him with a report on the status of the organization when it was handed over to the new administration at the end of the previous 5-year period and the progress thereafter. The President also informed them to plan out targets this year itself, which are to be achieved next year. Highlighting the importance of securing new construction opportunities available in the private sector by the state entities, the President reiterated the necessity of promoting the standards and the quality in order to compete with the private sector. Attention was also paid to the issue of outstanding dues owed by state organizations to the corporation. The President instructed the officials to probe into this matter and work out a mechanism to recover this money. Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Chairman of State Development and Construction Corporation D.P.M. Chandana, and the members of the Board of Directors were also present during the discussion.
Sri Lanka's second Faculty of Technology, affiliated to the University of Colombo, built at the Techno Park in Pitipana, Homagama, was vested with the studentship under the patronage of Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena today. The faculty is the second faculty of the technology established with the country's university system. The initiative aims at creating technological graduates in the national and international spheres fitting for the demand of the new century. A total of 3 billion rupees was spent to complete this project. The faculty complex equipped with all necessary facilities including state-of-the-art lecture halls, library, laboratories, communication and computer facilities. A total of 575 students are currently engaging in students at the faculty. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that various entities questioned them on the basis behind the selection of a village to establish Mahinda Rajapaksa College. However, he said that they were able to establish the biggest school in a village in South Asian region. He said that they were also able to establish the country's first green university nearby. He added that close to the green university, now they have established the Faculty of Technology of the University of Colombo. The minister further added that the Faculty of Technology of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, which was constructed at a cost of 3 billion rupees, was established in an adjoining area. Accordingly, he said that Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology, Sri Lanka Army Research Institute, Measurement and Survey Research Institute and the Student Textbook Storage Complex have been established surrounding the college. He requested those who have criticized these development projects to visit these sites before making any opinions criticizing these projects. Secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation, Anura Disanayake, was also present at this occasion.
Police media spokesman SP Jaliyasena Ratna says that all suspects connected to the incident related to the recent gunfire attack on a restaurant in Soizapura Junction, Moratuwa, have been arrested. The driver and the vehicle used for the shooting incident were taken into custody last night. The driver is the owner of the vehicle. On May 19, several individuals arrived in a vehicle with blunt weapons including swords, had caused damages to the properties of the restaurant and inflicted injuries on an employee of the restaurant before fleeing from the scene. The incident had taken place during a curfew-enforced period. On May 28, another group of individuals arrived in a vehicle and had shot at the restaurant using firearms at midnight. During an investigation carried out by the Western Provincial Intelligence officers on the incident, the vehicle and a 50-year-old suspect, a resident of Piliyandala area, were taken into custody. Moratuwa Magistrate Daminda Ramanayaka permitted today to detain and interrogate the suspect until tomorrow. Meanwhile, investigations have revealed that the suspect had handed over the T-56 firearm which was used for the shooting incident to a person in Angulan area. In the meantime, the Special Police Task Force carried out a raid in 3 cells which have imprisoned special inmates at the Boosa prison. During the raid, 3 mobile phones, 4 SIM cards, 2 chargers and 4 Adshot batteries were recovered. Several criminals known for the organized crime activities including Koskoda Taraka and Velesuda have been imprisoned in these cells.
Former parliamentarian Rohitha Abe Gunawardena says that Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana is all set to obtain 2/3 majority in the upcoming election. He made these remarks during a media briefing held at the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana headquarters. Former parliamentarian Rohitha Abe Gunawardena said that the opposition is reluctant to hold the general election. He said that the former finance minister and one of the prominent figures in the Good Governance government, Mangala Samaravira, has withdrawn himself from the parliamentary election race. He said that these candidates have come up with numerous types of tactics in their election propaganda campaigns. He said that Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana is ready for the upcoming election and all set to obtain 2/3 majority in the parliament.
Samagi Jana Balavega candidate contesting from the Galle district Deneth Paniyanduwa has decided to support Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana in the upcoming general election. He is the candidate of the Samagi Jana Balavega contesting from the Ambalanguda electorate. Deneth Paniyanduwa met with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday and informed that he would support Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana in the upcoming parliamentary election.
The government has announced that no individual attached to the Prime Minister's office had extended assistance to the suspect, who was arrested on the charges of forging the signature of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to prepare documents. The Prime Minister's office has said that it was confirmed during an inquiry carried out by the Criminal Investigation Department. A report was published in a newspaper recently, alleging that the suspect, who was arrested on the charges of forging the signature of the President to prepare fake documents, sought assistance from an official attached to the Prime Minister's office. President Media Division recently issued a statement requesting the public to inform on fraudsters who influence public institutes using the name of the President of his signature.
An island-wide dengue eradication program was commenced today under the instructions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Community and Health Department of the Colombo Municipal Council carried out the cleaning and fogging of the Prime Minister's official residence and the surrounding areas. The island-wide program was commenced from Colombo City. 62 mosquito eradication groups were deployed across Colombo City today to identify and clean mosquito-infected places and conduct fogging in mosquito habitats. Chief Medical Officer of Colombo Municipal Council Ruan Vijayamuni said that a program was initiated to check all locations in Colombo district with the aim to reduce the mosquito density in the city. Breeding and potential breeding sites were identified during a study carried out in many schools in the city. Steps have been taken to clean such sites in schools with support of the parents and academic staff before recommencing these schools. Wife of Prime Minister Shanti Rajapaksa was also present at the occasion. Brazil restored detailed COVID-19 data to its official national website yesterday following controversy over the removal of cumulative totals and a ruling by a Supreme Court justice that the full set of information be reinstated. The move followed days of mounting pressure from across the political spectrum and allegations where the government was trying to mask the severity of the outbreak, now the world's second largest.
On Tuesday, Brazil brought detailed COVID-19 data back to its national website after removing it over the weekend. A Brazilian Supreme Court justice ruled that the full set of information be reinstated after days of mounting pressure from across the political spectrum. Critics alleged the government was hiding the severity of the coronavirus outbreak. The country now has the second most cases in the world. And on Monday, the World Health Organization called on the Brazilian government to be transparent with its citizens.
They need to understand what's happening. They need to understand where the virus is. They need to know how to manage the risks to them.
Brazil's health ministry first delayed the release of its coronavirus case count last week before abruptly removing cumulative totals of all cases and deaths from its website. The Supreme Court statement said the action made it, quote, impossible to monitor the spread of the virus and implement appropriate prevention policies. Right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro has come under fire for playing down the severity of the pandemic. But on Tuesday, Bolsonaro threw blame on the WHO instead, threatening to leave the international body.
There is a reason why the American President Donald Trump has left the WHO, why he stopped contributing to the WHO. Brazil will think about this as soon as the problem with the pandemic is over, to seriously think about whether or not to leave, because it no longer inspires confidence for us.
But despite the ongoing surge in coronavirus cases, Brazilians returned to the beaches of Rio de Janeiro on Monday. The country's most populous state, Sao Paulo, is also seeking to reopen its economy. Brazil reported over 32,000 new infections on Tuesday, bringing the total to nearly 750,000.
Pollution-wide face mask use could push COVID-19 transmission down to controllable levels for national epidemics and could prevent further waves of the pandemic disease when combined with lockdowns, according to a UK study published today.
The use of face masks population-wide could prevent further waves of COVID-19, according to a UK study published on Wednesday. The research, led by scientists at Cambridge and Greenwich universities, says mask wearing could push transmission down to controllable levels for national epidemics. It also suggests that lockdowns alone will not stop the resurgence of the new coronavirus. Researchers assess the effect of masks wearing to the disease reproduction rate, or R value. which measures the number of people that one infected person will pass a disease onto. An R value above 1 can lead to exponential growth. In all scenarios the study looked at, routine face masks used by 50% or more of the population reduce R to less than 1, flattening the future disease waves and allowing for less stringent lockdown measures. Richard Studd, who co-led the study at Cambridge, says widespread mask use, combined with social distancing and some lockdown measures, could be an acceptable way of reopening economic activity long before the development of vaccine.
Now, the airline industry is set to lose $84 billion as the coronavirus pandemic reduces revenues by half to mark the worst year in the sector's history, the International Air Transport Association forecasts yesterday.
$84 billion. That's how much the global airline industry is expected to lose this year, which would make 2020 the worst year ever for airlines. That's the forecast put out Tuesday by the International Air Transport Association. And the dire predictions don't stop there. The losses will continue to pile up next year, hitting $100 billion as traffic likely struggles to recover and airlines slash fares to underprice one another to win back customers. Total passenger numbers are expected to fall this year to just over 2 billion before a rebound in 2021. But according to forecasts, that bounce back will still leave passenger numbers 25% below where they were in 2019. While most of the world's airplanes remain parked, even in parts of the world where health concerns are minimum, and with passenger revenues in free fall, airlines are piling up on debt and government assistance to keep their businesses out of bankruptcy. But there have been some optimistic signs lately. Passengers are slowly coming back and airlines are adding flights to their summer schedules. But industry watchers warn a patchwork of global travel restrictions and an overall unwillingness to fly are likely to keep any rebound in travel subdued, and few are willing to predict when air travel will return to normal.
Conservationists have warned that the coronavirus pandemic could spark a surge in ocean pollution, adding to a glut of plastic waste that already threatens marine life after finding disposable masks floating like jellyfish and waterlogged latex gloves scattered across seabeds.
ගත වූ දින 10න් 9කම දිනපතා ලක්ෂයකට අධික රෝගීන් සංඛ්‍යාවක් ලොව නන්දෙසින් වාර්තා වී තිබෙනවා. පසුගිය ඉරිදා වාර්තා වූ සංඛ්‍යාව 1,30,000ක්. එය මෙතෙක් දිනක් තුල වාර්තා වූ වැඩිම රෝග.
AMC Entertainment announced yesterday it expects to reopen all its theatres globally with limited capacity and blocked seating in July. The world's largest movie theatre chain registered a $2.2 billion net loss in the first quarter, underscoring the devastating economic blow the pandemic has had on the exhibition industry.
AMC Entertainment announced Tuesday it expects to reopen all its theaters globally in July.
Time travel.
That will come just in time for the US and UK release of Christopher Nolan's Tenet, slated for release on July 17th, and Disney's Mulan on July 24th. AMC expects to open its theaters with limited capacity and blocked seating, along with other precautionary measures. The world's largest movie theater operator shut its theaters in mid-March due to the global health crisis. Last week, it flagged, quote, substantial doubts about its ability to continue operations if it was forced to keep its theaters closed for a longer period. Like most other out-of-home entertainment businesses, movie theater chains have been hit doubly hard by lockdown measures, on top of a broader consumer shift to streaming services. Also on Tuesday, AMC said it was doing a, quote, exhaustive analysis to determine which theaters it should shut permanently for lack of profit.
A total of 1,122 COVID-19 patients have fully recovered and discharged from hospitals thus far. Within the past 24 hours, 65 COVID-19 patients were discharged upon recovering fully. Meanwhile, 4 patients with COVID-19 was detected in the country today. Among the confirmed cases reported today, 1 patient was reported as a returnee from Qatar, while the other patient has been identified as a returnee from Mumbai. Another 2 were identified as Navy personnel. So far, a total of 728 COVID-19 infected patients are still under medical care in hospitals. This is a percentage of 39.07%. The percentage of the total number of patients recovered from the disease stands at 60.22%. A total of 11 deaths related to COVID-19 has been reported in the country thus far. Director General of Health Services Dr. Anil Jasinghe says that a total of 313 patients are currently within the clusters of transmission. He said that the figure elaborates on how the spread of the disease in the country have been controlled. He said that the extent of the spread of the disease can be determined with the total number of 903 patients recorded from the Navy. He said that they have successfully prevented the spread of the disease in the country. The total number of recoveries in the country exceeded the 1,000 mark yesterday. He said that the percentage of the recoveries have reached beyond the total number of infections in the country, which is a positive sign for the country. A total of 903 COVID-19 patients have been identified as naval personnel and their close associates. This is a percentage of 48.52%. 645 infected persons were detected from amongst returnees from overseas, which stands at 34.65% as a percentage. The process to obtain biosamples for PCR tests from the society on random basis is currently under in the country. Obtaining of biosamples from selected persons employed at the Colombo Fort railway station was conducted today. A total of 29 inventions produced using the latest technology to curb the spread of COVID-19 was launched today at the Sri Lanka Army headquarters. The launching ceremony was held under the patronage of Defence Secretary, retired Major General Kamal Gunaratne. Retired Major General Kamal Gunaratne said that the country has not reported any COVID-19 patients from the outer society since April 30th. He said that this was achieved with the commitment and dedication of the Tri-Forces, health authorities and Sri Lanka police. He said that the existing mechanism to prevent the spread of the disease has not been stopped, as they are all set for a second wave of the disease.
දෙවෙනි රැල්ලක් එයි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු නොවුනත් දෙවෙනි රැල්ලක් ආවත් ඒකට මුහුණ දෙන්න අපේ නිලධාරීන් අපේ සෙබළුන් සහ අපේ සෞඛ්‍යාංශ සූදානම්.
According to the health guidelines issued to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 disease, permission has been granted for public gatherings at religious sites and to recommence tuition classes.
Following corporate, individual donations and direct deposits, Itukama COVID-19 Healthcare and Social Security Fund balance has now surpassed 1,376 million rupees. Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has donated 1,813,688 rupees to the fund, and the cheque for this sum was handed over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Presidential Secretariat today. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Minister Dinesh Gunawardena were also present on this occasion. In addition, the National Library and Documentation Services Board contributed a sum of 250,000 rupees, while the Chess Federation of Sri Lanka contributed with 1 million rupees for the fund, and their cheques were handed over to the President. Ministers Bantala Gunawardena and Dala Salaha Peruma also participated on this occasion. Hasanta Guruge and the Basnagoda Reservoir Project contributed the fund with 100,000 rupees and 28,739 rupees respectively. The fund's balance has now reached 1,376,767,920 rupees. Local as well as foreign donors have made their contributions to the fund. Deposits can be made through cheques, telegraphic transfers via www.itukama.lk or by dialing #207#. More information in this regard can be obtained through 07607 00700 011 232 0880 011 235 4340 or 011 242 4012.
An agreement was signed by Sri Lanka with Germany today to obtain a technical assistance grant of 11 million euros to implement 3 projects. The signing of the agreement pertaining to the above grant took place today at the Ministry of Finance, Economy and Policy Development. The first project, worth 7 million euros, set to target vocational training in Sri Lanka with the aim to provide demand-oriented, cooperative vocational training for young people. The second project, worth €3.5 million, set to focus on small and medium-sized enterprises sector development in the country. This program aims at removing major obstacles to the global competitiveness of Sri Lankan SMEs. The third project will focus on a study and expert fund worth €500,000, which is expected to be utilized to finance the preparation of new projects, to fund small-scale projects and for financing German experts. These projects will be implemented by the German Agency for International Cooperation of the German government. Germany has been assisting the Sri Lankan government effort to develop the vocational training sector and SME sector by providing technical and grant and cooperation through various interventions. Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Economy and Policy Development, S.R. Artigala, signed the agreement on behalf of the government of Sri Lanka, while Ambassador for Germany in Sri Lanka, Jean Rode, signed on behalf of the government of Germany.
The government has decided to expedite the development work of the Palali International Airport in Jaffna. The assistance of the Indian government will be directed for the development work. The Government of India has agreed to extend a grant worth of 300 million rupees for the development of the Palali International Airport. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that the relevant MOUs in this regard will be signed at the earliest. Infrastructure facilities including arrival and departure terminals and the expansion of operations at the airport are expected to be developed through the grant. The infrastructure facilities of the Palali Airport were not adequately developed even though international air travels were commenced last year. Therefore, the Ministry of Airport Aviation Services has said that the development work is expected to be commenced swiftly.
Well, that's it for the news this evening. Have a good night.
Good night.